Hi, welcome to the weekly news roundup. I'm Vida, and these are your headlines. Hun Sen urged Trump to restore ties with the kingdom. Prison Department dismisses rights violations report. King leads Princess Bopha Devi's cremation ceremony. Cambodia and South Korea ink 5 agreements. World Bank national economy experiencing robust growth. Banks urged to focus on digital innovation. As always, we begin with our top national stories. Prime Minister Hun Sen on Tuesday sent a response letter to United States President Donald Trump urging to restore trust and confidence amid strained ties. Last week, Mr. Trump sent Mr. Hun Sen a letter assuring that the U.S. is not seeking a regime change in the kingdom. Mr. Hun Sen in the response letter said, quote, "I concur with you that bilateral relations have gone through periods of ups and downs. However, I am of the view that we should not become hostages of a few dark chapters of our own history." Cambodia-US relations began to deteriorate in the lead-up to last year's national election after the CNLP was dissolved and its leader Kem Sokha arrested and accused of colluding with the US to overthrow the government. The US then imposed visa restrictions on senior government officials accused of violating human rights and undermining democracy. US lawmakers also made a move to introduce the Cambodian Trade Act 2019, a bill requesting a review of the kingdom's generalized system of preferences status. US Embassy spokesperson Emily Zigbert said the US looks forward to improving relations. Ms. Zigbert said, quote, "We look forward to continuing our discussions with the government of Cambodia on the US support for the Cambodian people, as well as the necessary steps to reopen political and civic space for all Cambodians that would strengthen our bilateral relationship and make real progress possible." The General Department of Prisons has dismissed a report made by right group Ligado, which claimed that there are violations of basic human rights in the kingdom's prisons. Ligado on Monday released a summary of its report titled "Life in Prison, A Mother's Stories." It also released a video of interviews it conducted and claimed life is extremely harsh for people behind bars. The rights group said, quote, "Denial of access to food, clean water, time outside cell and legal representation occur on a mass scale." A former detainee told Ligado she ate less nutritious food and barely spent time outside prison cell. She claimed that during pregnancy, she did not receive proper health care. According to Ligado, there are currently more than 29,000 prisoners incarcerated in the 18 prisons it monitors. In a statement issued Tuesday night, the General Department of Prisons said Ligado's summary is not accurate. The statement said the department takes care of all inmates. It added it worked transparently and responsibly. It noted the summary and video document affects Ligado's partnership with the department. Lieutenant General Nutsauna, department spokesman, on Monday acknowledged there is crowding in prisons due to drug charges and people put into pre-trial detention. However, he did not side with Ligado over rights abuses. Princess Norodom Bopha Devi's body was on Monday cremated during a grand ceremony led by King Norodom Sihamoni in front of Butom Pagoda in the capital. Queen Mother Muniniet Sihanouk, senior government officials, armed forces personnel, monks, artists, and citizens from all walks of life participated in the ceremony. Thousands of people carried flowers and walked in a procession behind and in front of the coffin from the pagoda, around Independence Monument, and to the pyre where the cremation took place. After the king led the funeral pyre, Princess Bopha Devi's eldest daughter, Princess Sisawat Muni Kosoma, thanks him, the Queen Mother, and the other participants who paid their respect and attended the cremation. Cambodia and South Korea on Monday signed 5 agreements, including the launch of a joint study on the possibility of a free trade agreement. The agreements were signed by Foreign Affairs Minister Prasukhon and his counterpart Kang Kyung-hwa on the sidelines of the ASEAN Republic of Korea commemorative summit and the first Mekong All OK summit in Busan. Mr. Sokon was representing Prime Minister Hun Sen, who was not present due to personal reasons. The 5 documents include the agreement on the eliminations of double tax and income tax and the prevention of tax evasion and tax avoidance, and the treaty on the mutual assistance in the criminal sector. according to a government statement. The statement added the two countries also signed two memoranda of understanding on cooperation in agriculture and cooperation in technology, telecommunication, and information. It noted the last document was the launch of a joint study on a free trade agreement possibility between. According to South Korea Yonhap News Agency, Mr. Sukhon and Ms. Kang agreed to renew the bilateral pact on agriculture exchanges and further explore ways to enhance financial systems cooperation. And now on to the business. The World Bank said in its latest report that Cambodia's economic growth remained robust, underpinned by solid export performance and strong domestic demand. The bank's Cambodia Economic Update report released Wednesday said the kingdom's gross domestic product growth is forecast to decelerate to 7% this year, down from 7.5% last year. The report provides up-to-date information on short and medium-term macroeconomic developments in the kingdom. It said garment and footwear exports, accounting for about 70% of total merchandise exports, grew at 17.7% last year, but is likely to 15.3% in June. Footwear export accelerated, reaching 20% year-on-year in June, compared with 19.2% last year. According to the report, risk in the financial sector continued to grow with increased exposure to the construction and real estate sector, alongside with rising indebtedness. A possible withdrawal of the Everything But Arms initiative, as well as a sharp slowdown in the Chinese economy, could substantially dampen growth prospects as well. To enhance Cambodia's external competitiveness, the bank said the authorities recently introduced measures to facilitate trade by lowering logistic costs, cutting red tape, and reducing the number of public holidays next year. In addition, a relative large fiscal stimulus to be financed by government savings could be introduced next year to mitigate the negative impacts. In addition, a relative large fiscal stimulus to be financed by government savings could be introduced next year to mitigate the negative impacts. Bankers in Southeast Asia have been urged to focus on digital innovation to improve their operations. The bankers were encouraged to adopt the latest technology in the industry at the ASEAN Banking Conference held Monday in Phnom Penh. The three-day event, which focused on the digital transformation of banking and financial services in ASEAN, was attended by top professionals from across the region. It was held under the theme ASEAN Connectivity 2025, a brave new world of digital innovation for one ASEAN banking sector. Chia Chanto, governor of the National Bank of Cambodia, said the conference was the perfect opportunity to exchange experiences and information with experts from ASEAN. He also said it was a good opportunity to encourage banks to adopt the latest technology available in the sector. Mr. Chanto said, quote, "Developments in technology have significantly contributed to expand and strengthen the banking sector in Cambodia as well as in the ASEAN region. Along these lines, banks and financial institutions have increased the use of technology and invented new financial products and services to offer more convenience to customers by reducing costs and time. These innovations support the growth of economic activities as well as financial inclusion." This is all for this week. Join us again for another episode of the Weekly News Roundup. I'm Vida. On behalf of the team, have a good weekend.